This is In the Know for Tuesday, November 5, the 310th day of 2024. There are 56 days left in the year. Today is Election Day in the United States. Good morning, MB, guiding you through In the K105 on Litchfield's Country Station 1039 The Moose, live online at K105.com via the Apple and Android smartphone app, using the SoundCloud, iTunes, or Spotify podcast, on Facebook, on YouTube, on the platform formerly known as Twitter, and the hashtag is In the Know. Coming up today, we'll update you on the latest news headlines from around the community, the county, the Commonwealth, and the country. And I guess everybody starts holding their breath today to see what's going to happen. That and a whole lot more coming up today here on In the Know. He is a 5-time winner of the coveted Ohio News Hawk Award. He's the 2-time Silver Sound nominee, covering every corner of the globe: London, Budapest, Rio, Tokyo, and even Litchfield. He's Sam Gormley. And the sports. Morning, Sam.
Morning, Ralph.
How you doing?
Well, not too bad. How are you?
Just trying to get through today. Just trying to live through today, because I have something to look forward to tomorrow. Tomorrow is National Saxophone Day. So no matter what happens, even if it doesn't go the way I want it to, my spirits will be brightened tomorrow because it's a National Saxophone Day. It's brass on the outside, woodwind on the inside. What more could you want?
Right? Yeah. No. It's except it's not an actual brass instrument like proper people play. So, read into that how you want.
It's made of brass. You also got to remember, I actually do play real brass instruments too. So it's not like you can exclude me and say that I'm not.
Well, I mean, there's only really one true instrument that true musicians play, and that is called the trombone.
I mean, clearly, yeah.
we arguably play the hardest instrument because all you have to do is press a key and it's going to be perfect every single time on the note. Whereas we got to get that slide position just exactly right, and sometimes second position is a little different each time how you play it.
Sure, absolutely. But you're playing the wrong instrument when the instrument note that you're most famous for has sad in the title. Sad trombone, as they call it. All the trombones are good for it.
It's called a
sad noises.
It's called a glissando.
Oh, a glissando.
Which is fun to say.
We learned something today already. Warm and windy for your election day. For those of you not celebrating Saxophone Day tomorrow, that are just getting it all out of your system with Election Day today, rain is going to return tonight. You'll see some rain later on in the evening, about a 20% chance of that, but I think we're likely to see some later in the night into the overnight hours. We're going to see 82 as the high today, so near record warmth. Probably will be a record if we get to 82, actually. Rain tonight, low of 63. Rain tomorrow, a high of 68. And then you can see our highs stay in the 60s at least until Tuesday of next week. It looks like we could see a chance of rain most every day, with the highest chances of rain looking to be on Saturday and Sunday, then maybe drying out a little bit for Veterans Day on Monday. So it's all of a sudden starting to feel like early fall after today, rather than the late summer-like conditions that we've had for the last few days. So most all of the polls, if you do the time change, I guess Alaska and Hawaii might not be voting yet. But the majority of the lower 48, certainly the polls are open and people are voting around the country today. You saw former President Trump get back to Florida early this morning after being late last night in Grand Rapids, Michigan. I think that's where he ended all 3 of his presidential campaigns, was in Grand Rapids. Says he's not running again no matter what, so that theoretically is the last political rally that he will ever hold, certainly as a presidential candidate. VP Harris finished the day in Pennsylvania, Philadelphia specifically, at the art museum, the famous art museum you've seen in Rocky. So she was making some calls for morning radio today. I think he is just letting the voters decide how it's going to go today. But now it's up to the people that haven't already voted. And I'm hearing, there's a lot of activity. There have been a lot of people vote already, but still a lot of people left to vote today. I saw a story from the Associated Press this morning saying that some Republican-led states refuse to let Justice Department monitors into polling places. There's apparently something going on in Missouri involving Justice Department election monitors. The Justice Department announced last week that it's deploying election monitors in 86 jurisdictions across 27 states on Election Day. The department declined to comment on the moves by the Republican-led states, but filed court papers urging the judge to deny Missouri's request. Missouri basically shoving back, saying these are state elections, and that is one thing that it's a little bit of a misnomer on what we're doing today. When you vote for president, you're actually voting for the electors that then participate in the electoral college that then pledge the electoral votes to a national candidate. So it's not an actual democratic election where you use the populist vote, et cetera. So we're having 50, and I guess D.C. and some of the other territories might have their own elections, or they're not voting in federal elections, obviously, but we're having 50 individual elections today for president to pledge the electoral votes that your state represents. So that's one of the reasons I think at least Missouri may be shoving back on federal election monitors, saying this is a state issue. We'll let you know if we need your help. One of the big issues in Kentucky today is because there's not really been any major statewide races for the parties to banter about Amendment 2, which is is labeled the school choice ballot measure. I think pros and people for and against are probably at least able to agree on the school choice being the apparent premise of the Amendment 2. And I've told you I've had I've had problems with the idea of this from the very beginning. First, I think the Republican majority who decided Amendment 2 should go on the ballot on the ballot for the people to decide have done an awful job with its messaging. I think they've done a terrible job of explaining what it is that they're trying to do. A television commercial with Rand Paul talking about competition is not sufficient to me in swaying me. I will tell you, I believe most likely the educators and Andy Beshear just simply saying no in repetition, it may carry the day just because they seem to have done a better job convincing people whether they're right or not. I'm not saying they're correct. I'm just saying that they might have been more effective. But I did find someone shared with me a podcast that Josh Calloway, who's a state legislator from over in Breckinridge County, did. And he and a couple of other people, including his wife, got into a discussion and were asking practical questions about what Amendment 2 would do. In fact, questions from people who were against it that said, yeah, but what about this? And will it do that? And will it hurt this? And will it hurt that? And they went through that, and I found it to be very informative. So it provided at least the half of the argument that I said, okay, I'm missing this component of this, and now I feel like I have both sides, and I have made a researched, well-informed decision that I can carry forward from there. But my guess is that at the end of the day, the Amendment 2, I bet that goes with no.
I hope so. I hope you're right.
I think it'll go that way because
I can't understand voting yes on that. I don't know. And I know I'm a public school kid. I was talking with my mom about it. I don't know. I've listened to it, and it's just one of those things. And I mean, listen, and that's politics. Sometimes you hear somebody on the other side, and you just go, okay, let me understand your point. And that's just one that I can't wrap my brain around it. And I know I'm a public school, I'm a product of that. My mother, longtime educator. So I don't know. I don't understand that. But hey, that's fine though.
In the last 10 minutes of that Josh Calloway podcast, he uses a video from a delegate, which is a legislator, Virginia's equivalent of a legislator. And he uses an analogy for our approach to education that in that 5 or 6 minutes, his speech, he does more to better explain Amendment 2 than I've heard anyone in the Commonwealth of Kentucky do. And so if you've not heard the other side of the argument, I will tell you that that is a very fair representation for what they're advocating for, but whether or not it will make any difference or not, I do not know. I do know this. If Amendment 2 is passed with a yes, the real fight starts in the next legislative session when they start battling over implementation, and there will be more educational lobbyists in Frankfurt than you've seen in 100 years, and so that's where the real arguments are going to start. Amendment 2 only just basically says it's okay to pursue it as an option because it's been turned away by the state Supreme Court multiple times. So anyway, we'll find out today. There are some congressional races. You know, the House, the U.S. House of Representatives, has to run every 2 years. So basically, as soon as you win, you have to start running again because you got to raise funds, et cetera. But nothing is going to change in the landscape. The 6 Congress people, 6 congressmen in this case that you have currently, will be your 6 congressmen in the next session. But most importantly, Andy Barr and Brett Guthrie are both in line for significant committee chairships when they get reelected. Andy Barr is likely to be the chair of the House Financial Services Committee. Brett Guthrie is almost a lock for the Energy and Commerce Committee, which is a very prestigious committee. So while we are taking a step back in the Senate from a leadership position, we are seeing some gains on the House side from leadership. You got Jamie Comer, like him or don't, he's obviously carrying a big stick in the House Oversight Committee. So Kentucky being pretty well represented, but Massey continues, Comer obviously continues, Hal Rogers continues, Morgan McGarvey is safe, Barr is safe, Guthrie is safe, and that's the way it will go at the ballot box today.
It still drives me crazy that, I was in Danville not too long ago and there's a Jamie Comer sign, and I could drive all the way to Fulton and there'd be a Jamie Comer sign because that makes sense. I don't know. It just,
from the Mississippi River all the way to Frankfurt.
It just doesn't make any sense.
That happens all the time, doesn't it? A story close to home. Got a couple of those to cover with you today. An employee at a local restaurant may have saved the life of a man who arrived at the business suffering from a medical emergency. The incident occurred last night about nearly 10 o'clock. The LFD and EMS were dispatched to Commerce Drive at the Huddle House when a Grayson County man in his 20s arrived at the restaurant, entered, almost immediately dropped to the ground. The man apparently began experiencing seizures, according to witnesses. An employee, Richard Jackson, then performed CPR on the man until first responders could report to the scene. The man accused of firing shots inside the emergency room at Baptist Health Hardin in Elizabethtown has been indicted on multiple felony charges. He has also been released from the University of Louisville Hospital as of Friday. He is now in the Hardin County Detention Center on a $500,000 cash bond. Over in Barron County, the state police in Bowling Green has been requested by the Kentucky Department of Fish and Wildlife Resources to investigate an agency-involved training incident that occurred Friday afternoon at their Game Warden Academy in Barron County. Preliminary findings say that during a training exercise, Game Warden recruit 24-year-old William Bailey of Richmond experienced a medical emergency. Officers at the scene rendered aid until EMS arrived. He was taken to T.J. Sampson Community Hospital in Glasgow, where he was pronounced dead. The cause of death has not yet been released. They were assisted by Barron Metcalf EMS, Glasgow Fire Department, the Department of Fish and Wildlife, etc. And so they will try and figure out what happened to that cadet. It was a big night for basketball in the Commonwealth of Kentucky. I think we have 4 area programs, at least 4 area programs that we kind of follow a little bit that were in action. WKU men got their season off to a start last night. They fell to Wichita State. That was at Diddle, wasn't it? And the final was 91-84. So the Tops start 0-1. Pat Kelsey's era debuted at Louisville with a 93-45 win over Morehead State. I know he addressed attendance issues after the game, and I saw some UK fans that were kind of taking shots at the attendance at the Yum Center, and it did look somewhat sparse. I think they're going to have to convince those fans to come back. But I wasn't very happy with the attendance in Rupp Arena last night. It was also a little bit, would you call it sparse?
No, I wouldn't even call it that. I would have said
You
it
know,
was 90%.
If you go back and look at the rows that are visible on TV when the camera
Yeah.
pans,
See,
you'll see some big gaps. So that might not have been representative of the rest of
yeah, no,
of the arena.
as someone who was physically there, no, it was probably 85% full, if not even 90. I mean, I would have said it was a pretty good crowd. I mean, there were some empty spots throughout, but like the bleacher seats to the left side of your screen, so behind like the visiting basket in like the second half, was completely full. Now the other side, like behind the eruption zone, which I think is student section, was a little empty. But other than that, it was it was a pretty good crowd.
Good night to be in Rupp Arena, I guess, and see the Pope era start at 1-0. The Cats won 103-62. Andrew Carr and Ansley Almanor had 11 each, but Lamont Butler and Amari Williams were the standouts last night, weren't they?
Oh, Otega Owe too. He had 21 points. He was the leading scorer. The wildest part though is, and it didn't process with me until I don't remember if it was during the UK postgame show or during the KSR postgame show. Is say that final score again?
Yeah, 103-62.
And what's the differential in that?
41.
And Mark Pope's number was
41.
which I thought it didn't process with me until later. And I was like, oh, well, that's kind of cool that his first win was 41 points.
Poetry there.
Yeah.
The number that stood out to me was 30 assists on 39 baskets.
Yeah, and he was very happy with that post game as well. I mean, it's a fun brand of basketball to watch. There's no question, and it's just one of those that you could feel some of the energy. It's kind of a rebirth of sorts, and now you got a tough Bucknell team on Saturday, and then on Tuesday, 1 week from today, is where you're really going to kind of see, okay, what is this team made of when they play Duke?
Yeah. Where do they measure up among the who's who? And have another warm-up for that, so that we'll look forward to that. I did drop you a note asking if you could stay after and teach Amari Williams to shoot free throws. 33% from the free throw stripe is going to be a problem.
Yeah, it's an odd, because he almost like, it's almost like the what's the ball in the Olympics. I can't remember what it's called, where you just kind of like heave it. That's kind of what he does when he shoots free throws. It's odd, and I mean, if it went in, you wouldn't really care what it looks like, but maybe he just had a bad day.
Yeah, maybe. I'm going to go with probably not. A stroke that looks that ugly is probably not. It was probably just not as a result of having an off night. But also, UK's other new basketball coach, Kenny Brooks, got his era started last night. The Lady Cats beat South Carolina upstate 98-43. So a high-scoring night for both U of L, for UK men and UK women. So congratulations to the ladies and men Cats as well. Got to get to a break. We'll come back. Got more on the way coming up here on In the Know.
Kentucky woman, she shines in her own kind of light. She looks at you once in a day, what's wrong is all right.
Owensboro Health asks, how are you? Your mental health affects your well-being as much as your physical health. Psychiatrist Dr. Adam Smith helps improve the quality of his patients' lives by treating their crippling depression, anxiety, or other concerns. Find help for your mental health with Dr. Adam Smith at Owensboro Health in Litchfield. Call 270-230-0212 or learn more at owensborohealth.org/Adam Smith.
If you strive for a healthy mind, body, and soul but feel overwhelmed, maybe it's time to talk with someone. Reach out to Fuller Life Counseling Partners. Whether you're seeking individual or couples counseling, family therapy, or substance abuse counseling, Fuller Life Counseling is there to help. Young or old, there are many benefits. Less anxiety and stress, better relationships, increased emotional balance, and more. Heal from within with Fuller Life Counseling in Bowling Green, Glasgow, Litchfield, and Scottsville. Or visit fullerlifecounseling.org.
Morning people wake up for peace and quiet. McDonald's breakfast people, we wake up for the sweet rush of getting that warm, delicious breakfast right before it ends.
Now, for only $5, get 2 sausage burritos, hash browns, and a small hot coffee. Order ahead on the app, and your $5 breakfast is ready when you get here. Price and participation may vary. Single item at regular price. Limited time offer. Cannot be combined with any other offer. Combo meal.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
What makes Caneyville Crushed Stone the best choice? It's not just our competitive prices. It's not just the 30-plus years of industry expertise. It's not even the dedication to every customer, rock, or delivery. It's the commitment to your project. Stone by stone, this is all we do. But we do it all. From your driveway, barn, farm, and home. We have you covered. Call our friendly staff Monday through Friday, 270-879-0222. Deliveries available Monday through Saturday. Or visit us on Highway 79 north of Caneyville.
Today's moment in pedestrian history from the Kentucky Office of Highway Safety. July 16, 1969, Neil Armstrong becomes the first pedestrian on the moon.
But if you're a pedestrian here on Earth, be visible with brighter reflective clothing. Use sidewalks and crosswalks. Pay attention and stay off the phone. It's one small step for man, one giant leap for pedestrians. Walk safe, Kentucky.
Yellowwood knows that a five-star backyard is the place to make lasting memories. Like cookouts. Cornhole with friends. Ooh, a neighborhood potluck with your wife's pasta salad. The one with the feta. Oh, sorry. Or taking a nap on your deck in a hammock. Naps are memories. I love naps. For five-star backyards and the most memorable experiences, Yellowwood brand pressure-treated pine. If it doesn't have that yellow tag, you don't want it.
OpenAI is going head-to-head with Google and Microsoft. The company is officially launching ChatGPT Search. The search feature can return answers and links to queries about sports, stocks, news, weather, and more. Ford is set to idle its F-150 Lightning plant in Dearborn, Michigan from mid-November until January. Tammy Trujillo explains.
It's due to slower than expected demand for electric vehicles. The production pause will impact about 800 workers. Ford's shift in EV strategy comes as the company reports continued losses in its EV segment and faces a challenging market, with CEO Jim Farley citing a global EV price war and an influx of new competitors. Ford is now focusing on cost control and adjusting battery production to maximize tax credits.
And Meta failed to reach analysts' expectations for user growth in the third quarter. The social media giant reported 3.29 billion active daily users. That's about 20 million shy of estimates. Earnings per share of $6.03, though, beat expectations by 78 cents. Tech Report, I'm Mark Mayfield.
This segment of In the Know is brought to you by Litchfield Funeral Home, providing Grayson County with compassionate, professional funeral, cremation, and pre-need services. Litchfield Funeral Home, celebrating life, one family at a time. 259-4566 or litchfieldfh.com. It is Election Day today. That is no surprise to you. At least it's Election Day here in the United States. It's also International Skeptics Day. That doesn't mean you have to be a conspiracy theorist. You can just be a skeptic.
Are you sure?
I am certain that it is Skeptics Day.
I don't know if it is or not.
It's Commercial TV Broadcast Day. You have a favorite commercial? You have a favorite TV commercial of all time? Or vice versa? You got the worst TV commercial of all time?
Oh, my. I'm not, it's too early for a ponderance. Usually I have about 25 minutes before I have to ponder.
It's Chinese Takeout Day. It's Donut Appreciation Day. Those are the days that we're celebrating today. I've got a bonus, did you know, for you, Sam? I'm afraid I'll forget if I wait until next segment.
Uh-oh.
I think this is helpful information for you because you'll find yourself in this. I caught you on camera last night rabidly yelling in the second half because you knew that if they missed 2 free throws, you get a Chick-fil-A sandwich.
So what was funny with that is that there was one point where everybody was screaming, but it was a 1-and-1 opportunity, and I leaned over to my dad and I was like, do they realize that then it's impossible for them to miss 2 on a 1-and-1?
Yeah, it's hard to do, isn't it? So here's the secret, that you will just open up your app.
I heard about this after I'd already left the stadium.
Okay, so next time you'll know. It doesn't matter whether they do it or not. It doesn't matter whether they miss a field goal in the second half or not.
Oh, is that what it is?
Just open up.
Is that what it is at Kroger Field?
If you'll just open up your app while you're there, because they put a geofence around it.
Uh-huh.
And then, but the only trick is it's the Lexington area stores that redeem that, so you can't carry it across the country and use it somewhere else. But
See,
it is funny how wild people will cheer for a free chicken sandwich.
Mother Nature said that my dad and I weren't allowed to have a second half of a football game this year. So, or I guess we got 4 minutes of the second half of the Southern Miss game.
Well, if you want to, I think I've actually only seen one half of football this season. So,
just think of the of our happy mood too. It was 38-0. We're thinking great, vibes were good.
I said it on the way home from the South Carolina game. I said those boneheads just saved me a bunch of Saturdays this fall, and they did, and I've enjoyed them. So. No big deal. It's election day, as I mentioned, and even the astronauts are voting today. Not only the astronauts that knew they were going to be in space, but we have some astronauts who went to space that thought they would be back in time to cast their ballots in person today, and they were not. So the crew, including 2 stuck there after the Boeing Starliner malfunction, will beam their votes back to Earth thanks to a high-tech encrypted system. Sonny Williams and Butch Wilmore, stuck in space until at least February, said they intended to vote from orbit and had requested absentee ballots so they can still cast their vote for the election. Wilmore said in a September interview, "I sent down my request for a ballot today. As a matter of fact, they should get it to us in a couple of weeks." He said it's a very important role that we all play as citizens to be included in those elections, and NASA makes it very easy for us to do that, so we're excited about that opportunity. Something else that's important to remember here is that the people who work for NASA typically are stationed at, or they're living temporarily. They don't have permanent residence at Houston or wherever they might be training to go into space, Port Canaveral, etc. So they would still be residents and registered to vote in the area where they were previously, most of them. So what happens is when they cast their electronic vote in space, it is encrypted, and it gets carried to the county clerk where they are registered to vote. So it doesn't even come down and go into a NASA pile and say, well, here are the NASA votes. It actually goes back to the place where the astronauts are registered to vote. And the only 2 people that can open the vote are the person who voted and the county clerk on the other side. And so I think that it's pretty neat how that works. They're actually voting from off the planet. Now, it will be exciting because let's say the presidential race, say Pennsylvania comes down to 1 vote. And it's the vote from outer space that we're waiting to come and get carried back to Bucks County. And we'll figure out the astronaut decided who Pennsylvania went to. Think that can happen, Sam? It's supposed to be close.
I hope it's not. Like Matt Jones said yesterday, I think he's exactly right. What we need as an American population is one side to win.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Like just win by a lot so that we're not listening to this, that, everything in between. Let's just have something good happen. One side wins and we can just move on.
On the horizon, we have Black Friday, we have Small Business Saturday, we have Cyber Monday. Some people are trying to call like Giving Tuesday, but there's another industry that's lined up to have their own day in sequence, and that is Travel Tuesday. Black Friday and Cyber Monday aren't the only autumn days where one can snag the deal of a lifetime. Cash-strapped Globetrotters are salivating over what's being called Travel Tuesday, an increasingly popular holiday that targets those who want discounts on traversing the world. This year it will fall on Tuesday, December 3rd. It's a lot like Black Friday, but instead of flat-screen TVs and other electronics, the airline, flights, cruise hotels, hotels, and other tourism areas are offering 20 to 30% off their best available rates. So you might want to They say that even better than Black Friday, even better than the other dates that you can get. The Travel Tuesday, December 3rd. There is a new trend in baby names going into 2025, and it's called My Best Friend's Dad Name Trend, which was very confusing to me. But it says old man monikers are all the rage amongst pregnant mommies and daddies gearing up to welcome daughters in 2025 thanks to the My Best Friend's Dad baby naming trend. An expert says, I think we'll start seeing more traditional male names being chosen for girls such as Drew, Noah, and Dylan. So we've got a Drew Barrymore. We know her. Do you know any young ladies named Noah or Dylan? Taylor had a classmate named Dylan.
I want to say I do know a Dylan, and I know I knew a Drew. I went to college with a female Drew. I don't know about a Noah, though.
The expert here says, I used to get a lot of requests for gender-neutral names that lean feminine. However, now I get more and more requests for true boy names for girls. I've shared with you that, Taylor was going to be Taylor no matter what. I think Taylor is a feminine-leaning, gender-neutral name, but had she been a boy, she would have also been Taylor, and her middle name would have stayed the same as well. I never really considered that. Would you, if you had been a girl, would you have been Samantha?
No, I think I would have been Katie or Kathleen.
Okay. All right, good. I didn't know that. That's interesting. Like in Marita's case, I think she was going to be Marshall, if she had been another son. So it's interesting how parents make these choices. But this expert goes on to say, the biggest trend I see for 2025 is what I call my best friend's dad names. Scotty. I know a lady whose name is Scotty. She's older. She's a contemporary of mine.
Oh, you do?
Tommy. Pardon me?
Oh, I didn't realize that was yes, you did know a female Scotty.
Yeah, I do. So that's not like even a current trend. That's an adult named Scotty. Tommy, Tommie.
I've seen that.
All these are IE ending. Tommy, Marky. Hey.
Mark?
Hey.
Marky Mark?
Marky Mark. Mickey, that's Mickey.
Mouse?
Billie. Well, you can name them. You can give their middle name to be that as well. So are we?
Billy's. That one's not that uncommon, right?
No, absolutely not. Billie Jean.
I
mean, Michael Jackson taught us about Billie
Eilish.
Billie Eilish. That's exactly right. I have a feeling that's where
So
that
did
could have
did
come from.
none of your friends name their daughter Dennis?
No.
Yeah.
None of.
I don't have any friends that are probably going to name their daughter Dave either. Doesn't seem like a very feminine name.
My sister Martha, her middle name is Denise, which you would think would be a
Okay.
feminine form of Dennis.
Okay.
So it has.
Is there a female Dave? I don't think so.
Davida?
Davida?
I wouldn't be an expert on that. And I have learned that we talked about the election to open the segment. It has been an expensive presidential election. Would you like to know the price tag on the election to earn your vote today, Sam? Just on the presidential race.
Does it start with a B?
It easily starts with a B.
What, like 250 billion?
No, not quite that high.
Okay.
$5.5 billion. That breaks down to $16 for every man, woman, and child currently living in the United States of America. $5.5 million. $5.5 billion. A break. We'll come back. Got more on the way. Hang around here on In the Know.
You're listening to the voice of the future, a voice that needs someone like you.
Hi, I'm Savannah. When I was 13, I entered foster care. It was scary and confusing until I met my CASA volunteer, Cindy.
I'm Cindy, and as a CASA volunteer, I got to know Savannah, stand up for her in court, and ensure she had the support she needed. It was one of the most rewarding experiences of my life.
Cindy was my rock. She listened to me, believed in me, and fought for my best interest. Thanks to her, I felt seen and heard.
Being a CASA volunteer isn't always easy, but knowing I made a difference in Savannah's life made it all worth it, and every child deserves a chance to thrive.
Because of Cindy, I have a brighter future. You can be the light for another child.
CASA of the Heartland is looking for volunteers just like Cindy. The children in our community need someone to be their voice. You can help change a child's story. Visit CASAHeartland.org or call 270-982-2274 to learn more. Be the difference. Be a CASA volunteer.
When buying or selling a home, you want experience, trust, and personal touch. But they say you can only pick two. Well, with Gina Lastly at Tom Baxter Real Estate, you get all three. With a decade of expertise as a broker, Gina's attention to detail and passion for real estate make her a trusted friend and professional. She goes above and beyond to ensure your real estate journey is smooth and successful.
I'm Gina Leslie. Put my passion for real estate to work for you. Call me now at 217-721-0034.
Discover the difference at TomBaxterRealEstate.com.
Hey, it's Joshua Horton, Public Health Director here at the Grayson County Health Department. It's almost my favorite time of the year, Thanksgiving and Christmas, and we don't want you to give a gift that you did not intend on giving. That's why it's so important that we get vaccinated, not only to protect ourselves, but to protect those around us. At Grayson County Health Department, we are committed to keeping our community safe. Our walk-in vaccination clinics offer both COVID-19 and flu vaccines Monday through Thursday, 9 to 11 and 1 to 3. Visit us at 124 East White Oak Street here in Litchfield, or for more information, check out our website at myhealthdepartment.org. Grayson County Health Department. Together we are better.
If you're traveling by foot, it's important to stay on your toes. Be visible with bright or reflective clothing. Use sidewalks and crosswalks. Pay attention and stay off the phone. When it comes to pedestrian safety, please walk the walk. Walk safe, Kentucky. A message from the Kentucky Office of Highway Safety.
You might wonder, John Legend, how do you keep your voice sounding so legendary? Honey. And how do I keep my protection against COVID-19 up to date? With a COVID shot this season, designed for recent variants.
You can get your COVID-19 shot when getting your flu shot if you're due for both, as recommended by the CDC.
The fresher, the better.
Ask your healthcare provider about getting this season's COVID-19 shot when getting your flu shot.
Sponsored by Pfizer. Do you owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes? Are you being audited or investigated? Has the IRS sent you a letter demanding payment? You may not owe what they claim. Make this free call to the tax doctor now. Let them negotiate with the IRS on your behalf. Call 800-631-9123. 800-631-9123. That's 800-631-9123.
K105 weather from the Wave Storm Tracking Team is brought to you by Smith Overhead Door, SOHD.info.
Twin Lakes weather. We'll keep some clouds rolling overhead throughout the day, but still plenty of sunshine coming our way with highs in the upper 70s and the low 80s. Rain rolls in overnight into your Wednesday. We'll keep those rounds of rain in portions of Wednesday and Thursday, with even more rain chances for the weekend. From the Wave News Storm Tracking Team, I'm meteorologist Tawana Andrew.
Did you know? Leonardo da Vinci invented an alarm clock that woke him by rubbing his feet. How did we let that idea slip away?
Do you want that?
That'd be a great option. I don't necessarily want it, but I would like to give it as a gag gift to someone.
Yeah,
Would it
see,
be
see,
rubbing their feet or like tickling somebody's feet to get them to wake up. Like, ooh.
yeah,
Da
you
Vinci, he was clever.
you can have that happen to you. I don't want that happening to me.
No, I don't necessarily want it happening. Actually, I'm anti-alarm clock. Period. Now I don't want to go back to the town crier days or back to the what we call the knocker uppers. The knocker uppers were the people that walked around and they clanged on sticks and things to say, "Get up, time to wake up."
If you're anti-alarm clock, then how do you get up in the morning?
Oh, I didn't say I don't deal with them.
Oh.
I just have a philosophical objection to
Well, I
alarm
mean,
clock.
is there anybody that enjoys the alarm clock?
Probably some people. Probably people who wake up without one. They're probably indifferent to the alarm clock.
I mean, I would love to wake up without one, and that would mean, me just getting up on my own volition every single morning. But
Me, I have pronounced disdain for the alarm clock. So.
oh yeah. My alarm clock and I have a war usually most mornings.
A Charlie Brown Thanksgiving is coming back, of course. A few years ago there was a kerfuffle because it got picked up by Apple TV Plus, and people are like, "How dare you?" Well, you should have bought the rights to it. But Apple owns the rights to all the Peanuts holiday specials. That means that way, once again, to see Charlie Brown, Peppermint Patty, and Marcy act out the courtship of Miles Standish is on Apple TV Plus, and it's available to subscribers at any time. But for those of you who don't want to subscribe to Apple TV Plus, there is a period of time for Thanksgiving weekend itself where there is no paywall, and you will be able to see it on Apple TV Plus. No paywall at all. The same will go also for Christmas. So the Christmas version, you'll be able to see it anytime you want. If you're a subscriber, they will take the paywall down for at least a brief period of time during the holiday season so you can enjoy. Kelly Clarkson will be returning as host of Christmas at Rockefeller Center, the special on NBC. And we're getting to the time of year. We're going to get a lot of holiday specials coming up. I'm looking forward to, it feels festive and holiday-ish, Wicked. The movie is just 3 weeks away. And Ariana Grande was doing a radio interview this week, and she was asked why in the film credits for Wicked, she's listed as Ariana Grande Butera, Butera, and she said, technically it's my little girl name. It's a little airy name. She said, that was my name when I went to see the show when I was 10 years old. It felt like a really lovely way of honoring that. It felt really full circle. It felt like something I wanted to do. So her last name incorporates both her mom, Joan, she's a Grande, whatever pronunciation you choose. Her dad's last name is Butera. So when she went into show business, she chose Grande. For her film credits for Wicked, she's adding the Butera or Butera.
And you're going opening weekend to see this?
Oh, yeah. Not opening day, but because opening day would be Friday, but I'm going on Saturday.
So what's that, like the 30th of November?
No, it's the 23rd.
Okay, so it's the weekend before Thanksgiving. Okay, I thought it was a Thanksgiving movie. Okay.
I think there's a chance they moved Wicked to not to avoid Moana 2.
Oh, is that Thanksgiving weekend?
I think Moana 2 is the following weekend.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they busted those.
Is that one in your household then too?
She will want to, but it's unlikely we will get there that weekend. Now next year, for Frozen 3, that will be must see in the theater on opening day.
Midnight showing.
Probably not midnight showing, but we will make haste to get there. Another movie that's off in the distance. Eddie Murphy is officially on board to play George Clinton. I mean, I guess that will work. I mean, Eddie Murphy can play just about anything, but he's going to be the head of Parliament Funk in a movie coming up. I don't know when it'll be out, but probably be pretty good. And then I didn't get to talk to you about it yesterday. Quincy Jones has gone on in at age 91. Now, when you think about the career of Quincy Jones, he recently, I don't know if it was on Netflix or it's on one of the streamers, there was a documentary about him, and it's really good. I found it to be really enjoyable. But he started playing music as a young kid. He was playing, jazz, and then he produced some of Frank Sinatra's most famous recordings. I mean, ones that like "Fly Me to the Moon." That was a Quincy Jones. He created the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air for Will Smith. There's just so many people that he worked with. We Are the World was his project. Just so many things that he's involved in. I opened the segment with this. So from Austin Powers, this is a Quincy Jones composition. So hard not to like the Quincy Jones stuff. But then famously, Michael Jackson's Off the Wall, Michael Jackson's three most famous albums, Off the Wall, Thriller, and Bad, were all three Quincy Jones produced. And there is a story about Quincy Jones that when he called Eddie Van Halen to ask him to play to do a guitar solo in Beat It, Eddie Van Halen did not believe that it was Quincy Jones and actually hung up on him until Q called back. But we were this close. I mean, we were this close. We were Quincy Jones' persistence away from not getting this little nugget on one of the most famous guitar solos of all time. It's on Beat It, and Eddie Van Halen shreds. Quincy Jones goes on in at 91. Got to get to a break. We'll come back, finish it up for the morning here on In the Know.
There's a well-known adage that says the road to hell is paved with good intentions. It's meant to convey the idea that wanting to do good just simply isn't enough. You have to take action. Hi, this is Jim Daly with Focus on the Family. Like a lot of kids growing up, I often ignored problems. Even worse, I explained away the consequences of my inaction by saying I didn't mean for that to happen. It was an excuse my parents, teachers, and coaches all dismissed. My response was a cop-out, I was told. At the time, having to take responsibility for myself and learning to do more than just hope for good things was pretty rough. But all these years later, it's a lesson I'm glad I learned. Good things rarely happen just because we want them to. We have to take action, and that's where many of us slip and fall. According to counselors, we're normally aware of what we want to do, but our choices are often made impulsively, even subconsciously. It's a lot of the reason we intend to go on a diet, but wind up eating candy bars for afternoon snacks. So whether it's your diet, your career, or your marriage, maybe you're wondering why important pieces of your life don't seem to be falling into place. If that's your situation, take a look to see if you're simply wishing for good things to happen or truly taking action. You'll find encouragement to make every day count at FocusOnTheFamily.com. I'm Jim Daly.
The words you are about to hear are taken from letters sent in by members of the Trinity Debt Management Program.
Dear Trinity, today I'm making my final credit card payment.
Before I came to you, I was in a constant state of anxiety and panic, but now there is hope for my family's financial future.
Working with Trinity made me understand that I'm not alone.
You really do help people.
Your kindness will never be forgotten. Without Trinity's support, I would not have achieved my lifelong goal of becoming debt-free.
We saved a lot on interest and penalties, of course, but the reward was the gift of human kindness.
Trinity has carried me through a very difficult time in my life. You're amazing.
I used to feel so anxious and hopeless. Now I feel grace and peace.
God bless Trinity as you continue to help others become debt-free.
If credit card debt has you down, call Trinity at 1-800-990-6976. That's 1-800-990-6976.
This year, there will be more than 600 traffic-related deaths in Kentucky. Over 100 fatalities will be people riding motorcycles. Over a dozen will be on bicycles. And more than 70 will be pedestrians. Scary numbers, but together we can make our roadways safer. Whether you drive, ride, bike, or walk, please share the roads safely.
A message from the Kentucky Office of Highway Safety.
MB's Point to Ponder for today. Double dose, a point to ponder. You got 2 did you knows? You're getting 2 points to ponder today.
Yeah, I don't know that we're prepared for that.
Why can't we spiral into control? It'll be a nice change.
Yeah.
We're always spiraling out of control. Can we reverse that? Just spiral into control, for goodness sake. And secondly, Sam, have you tried to play a practical joke on me at some point in time? And I'm maybe just now figuring it out.
Have I?
I don't know. But I think it could be you. I recently, well, not just recently, but during the show, got a text message from J. Kelly Huff, a candidate for Florence City Council.
Really?
Asking for my vote, and I can learn more about them on their Facebook page, or I can even call them on their cell phone.
Him, yeah.
Well, I'm just,
Him,
you never
yeah.
know, like J. Kelly Huff. So
Really?
I couldn't presume. And so, but last week I also got someone wanting to know if I wanted to sell my house in Florence. My phone number is a prefix that was created specifically for Grayson County.
That's odd.
And I've never lived anywhere but Grayson County. Well, I've had this phone number for 25 years. So,
I mean,
I'm just wondering, were you trying to
if
get
I'm
one over on me? Or
I mean, I'm a little insulted that you think that would be where I would go. I would be a lot more creative and trying to hide where it was from. But no, that's not me. But that's honestly kind of funny, and it's odd.
This would be your entree into the, like, you would be sprinkling in a little inconvenience.
Well, I mean,
it's like a setup.
If you want, you can just give your cell phone number out on air right now, and then everybody can sign you up for election in their hometown.
Okay, well, here's my number, 513-604-1194.
It came from
513-604-1194.
That came from a 513 number?
Actually, I got it from an 859 number, but J. Kelly Huff's cell phone is a 513 number.
Okay.
Again, 513-604-1194. If you'd like to learn more about,
do you not want to
J.
have him on the
Kelly
show?
Huff's candidacy. It's a little bit too late now because the first polls close in 7 hours.
Uh-huh.
And I'm ready for breaking news, Sam. Do
What?
we have a breaking news
Are
sounder?
you not going to vote for him?
I don't think I'm qualified. I don't have time to get there. I can't vote absentee.
I will say that I don't think that he's getting a vote in the Gormley House either, knowing the city councilman that we know, because I know personally some of the city councilmen.
Does J. Kelly Huff, does he say y'all properly?
No, he's more proper.
Oh. Any Florentine who can't properly say y'all
I mean,
is
listen,
not getting my vote.
Gary Wynn is the best councilman up there. Mel Carroll, David Osborne, Jenna Kemper, listen.
Breaking news, Sam. Breaking news. Donald Trump carries Kentucky and wins 8 electoral votes from Kentucky. Breaking news. Write it down. It's in the books. Election coverage on basically anywhere you look tonight, unless you've squirreled away content like I have.
And we will too on K105.com. We'll have Grayson County results because there's some big school board races, especially.
There are. There are also some known races, some known outcomes already. Today's highlight in history, this date in 1872, Susan B. Anthony defied the law by casting a vote. Go Susan B. I mean, typically I don't condone law breaking, but Art Garfunkel is 83 today. Peter Noon is 77. Kris Jenner 69. Bryan Adams 65. Tatum O'Neal 61. Sam Rockwell 56. Bubba Watson 46. Jason Kelsey is 37. What'd you think about his move? I know we don't really like the Kelseys, but did you like his reaction?
He's better than Travis.
Absolutely. But did you like his move? I liked it. I was
I mean, listen, just leave people alone.
Kevin Jonas is 37 today, and Odell Beckham Jr. is 32. Is OBJ still a Brown?
No.
Where is he now?
Miami?
Roy Rogers, born this date 1911. Vivian Lee, 1913. Ike Turner, 1931. Graham Parsons in 1946. Bill Walton in 1952. We lost Bill Walton earlier this year. Late May, I think it was.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Oh,
if I recall.
It's not in first or second day of college basketball too. He probably would have had maybe the Gonzaga game last night.
Oh yeah, that's right. They won big, didn't they?
Oh yeah, by like 40.
Chart toppers 1955. Tennessee Ernie Ford #1 and 16 times. I owe my soul to the company store. You know what the company store is, Sam?
Amazon.
On all these mining towns, they had the company store, so they had their own little ecosystem set up where they paid you in company script. You went to the company store, you bought your goods in company script, and that's the way that it was.
Well, so
They could control the prices on everything.
South Park used that in a episode where they did it talking about Amazon. So that's when I hear that song.
Gotcha. That's a good analogy.
Of how Amazon came into South Park and took over everything, and that's where everyone started to work, and they were working at the company store.
Betty Everett, Jerry Butler, Let It Be Me, number 1 in 64. All right, let's move forward. Let's go to the 70s. 1973, Gladys Knight, number 1. I shouldn't leave out the Pips. They're here, too. I love that. Woo-hoo!
Said he's going back to a simple.
Okay, you can listen to the woo-woo on your own time. To 1982 we go. From an officer and a gentleman, Joe Cocker, Jennifer Warnes. I got no place else to go. It's a famous Richard Gere line from Officer and a Gentleman. I got no place else to go. Let's go to... This is the song that made Travis Tritt a star. Now, here's a quarter, Call Somebody Who Cares, or there's another one, Country Club. Might have been his first hit, but Anymore is what made him a star because it was his second or third hit. They went, oh, yeah, this guy's going to hang around. Let's see if I can get to the chorus here.
My resistance ain't that strong.
All right, Christina Aguilera, Come On Over was number 1 in 04. No, in 2000, 24 years ago. Party in the USA in 09. Girls Like You, Maroon 5, number 1, 6 years ago today. All right, I got to get out and vote. I'll see you there.
I don't think we're going to be voting at the same spot.
Save me a spot in line. MB's Pearl of Wisdom for today says, bad officials are elected by good citizens who don't vote. Bad officials are elected by good citizens who don't vote. MB's Pearl of Wisdom for today. Remember, God loves you, and I do too. If you don't know Jesus, let me know, and I'll introduce you. Look forward to seeing you back here tomorrow for another edition of our show. For Sam Gormley, I'm MB, and now you're in the know.
Powering through the Twin Lakes with the best mix of music, news, weather, and fun. If it's in the Twin Lakes, it's on K105.